Okay, it says you are now live. Hey everybody, welcome back to Cryptid and Paranormal Kingdom with Carlito and Tom. I'm here tonight with a special guest. His name is Ricardo Sanchez. Many people know who he is already. Many people heard of him. Many people uh, like his research. Some don't. But he's here tonight to do an interview with us and let us get to know him a little bit better. Because he has been on other podcasts, on other live streams. So, but in case you missed him, he's here with us now. So, hey, Ricky, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bud.
Good, good, man. Glad to have you here tonight, brother. Thank you for
Good to
coming,
be
man.
here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, I am checking if we are on the group, if it's broadcasting live, because it did say it on my, yeah, it is. Okay, it is. Alrighty. Another thing is that I can't comment on the computer because I do my lives on my computer and then I just check my phone. I can't comment on my phone for some reason, Rick, but I mean on my laptop. So that's why I keep my phone next to next to me. So how you doing, Rick? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, good, good. A little bit
Good,
tired,
man.
but
Good. Yeah, I remember you were telling me earlier when I spoke to you earlier that you were doing some work out in your property, right? You recently bought new property in Tennessee. Is that correct?
yep. I bought 10
Okay.
acres next to the Tennessee River,
Mm-hmm.
probably an hour and 45 minutes away from the LBL.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing
Okay.
some bulldozing and some stuff down there now.
Okay. Cool. Cool, man. I heard that you were telling me that you had some kind of like machine out there doing some type of big work, like underground work and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we had the bulldozer come in today. We had to clear some area up there for the septic tank and the cabin that's going to go in there.
Mm-hmm. 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 Cool. Cool, man. I bet it's a lot of work, right? Because you started from scratch, right? You just bought that land flat out, just barren land out there.
Yep, just woods in between woods. There's
Cool.
absolutely nothing out there. There's no houses around. I mean, it's just woods in the middle of woods.
Right. 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 Cool. Cool, man. Let me ask you something. I am kind of curious, knowing that you love to explore Dogman territory. Um, is there a particular reason why you moved out there, bro? Like maybe hoping to find better evidence, maybe,
Well,
perhaps.
it's always been a dream. I particularly don't like cities. It's always been a dream of mine to have bought property where everything surrounding the property is also woods.
Okay.
And it just happens that I was able to purchase these 10 acres, like literally in the middle of nowhere. I got the Tennessee River on the east side, and I got two state forests or preserves on the west side. But although that's been my dream, obviously, through the years, getting deeper into cryptid research, it just coincided that, hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you are. You were telling me how far were you from LBL?
Like an hour and 45 minutes.
That's pretty close, bro. That is pretty
Let's
close.
just
Yeah.
say that every time I go down there, I run through the LBL to get down there, just for the sake of running
What?
through the LBL.
Just to go by there?
Yeah, just to go by there.
Wow, you crazy dude. You're the only person I know that wants to just jump in there and hope to find something in there, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I did. I
And you
did.
do, because I've seen your videos. I've seen your videos. You do run into a lot of
Last
activity
time
out there, man.
it was funny. It was funny because I was in a rental car,
Hmm.
and to save gas to get down there, do some errands in the property and in the vicinity. So I don't know. It was somewhere around 11 o'clock. I'm almost in that area, and I'm deciding if I should go down through the LBL or not. And I said, what the heck? I'll just go through straight through the middle.
Ooh,
And when I
man. Well, you know all the
and when I
activities up in the north, right?
yeah, oh yeah, I know. Well, I started from the north side,
Yeah.
and my luck, right? The minute I enter the northern side, I have to
Hmm.
pee.
Oh man, that's not good.
So
That can be
so
good.
you should see me, right? Because now you get all these things in your mind going through your head.
Uh
So
huh.
you imagine me opening the door, using the bathroom, and quickly getting back in the car.
Hmm.
so so we started in the northern side, and I can testify that the northern side is completely quiet. I mean, like literally
That's what they say.
silence. You don't hear deer. You don't hear
Yeah.
nothing. You don't see.
That that's why,
Instead,
because they're all there. They're all there. Whoa,
yeah,
that's what they say. Hmm.
yep.
It's the north side.
And then on some parts, when I was getting down there, on some parts you would hear like the crickets and stuff like that. And as I slowed down, the noises would like go quiet.
Really?
Um, in
Wow.
one part, I would hear their clicking. They have
Yeah,
this clicking. They kind of sound, for
I've heard
those
that
that don't
before.
that have may not hear it. If you look up African wild dogs,
Yeah,
they they kind of have that type of vocalization.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Like clicking.
I,
I think
yeah,
they
so
what is that, like communication when they click like that?
yeah, they're clicking to each other. It's just they're quote unquote talking to each other. Um, if you're out in the woods, it's
Hmm.
hard. If you've never heard it, it's hard to pick up on it. If you have heard it, you'll pick up on it very quickly. It'll have
Hmm.
rhythms to it. But so I had heard that, and I stopped my car, and sure enough, you'd hear what sounded like two or three things just go back into the woods deeper.
Hmm.
So I'm halfway through the northern part, and me being me, I have some vocalizations that I have on my phone,
Hmm.
and I lowered my driver's side. So just imagine, right? I have my left hand on the button that opens the window up and down. I have
Hmm.
my elbow on the steering wheel, and I have a high-powered headlamp on my hand. So I'm driving with my elbow, going very slowly as
Hmm.
I'm playing the vocalization. So now, as I'm driving slow, because I've already played the vocalization, I'm driving slow. I'm beaming into the woods, and I hear nothing. I'm like, what the heck, All
Hmm.
of a sudden, from my right side passenger rear, I
Hmm.
heard a growl rumble. It
Wow.
sounded like if the back door window was, not the back door. Well, yeah, the rear back door window was open, and it stuck his head inside the car. That's how it sounded.
Hmm.
But the window was closed. But again, that's how it sounded, like if they had stuck his head inside the car.
Damn.
And you can just imagine me throwing the headlamp towards the passenger side floor, putting up the window, and speeding up uh, like a kid
Oh,
that just got caught doing something wrong, right?
yeah.
Um, and then I look back. Obviously, I didn't see nothing. but it was enough for me to go, okay, 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 fine. Let's just keep going. But then when you get to the south side, once
Hmm.
you get to south side, the second you hit, you go under the highways. I think it's 66 or something like that. I can't quite
Hmm.
remember what highway that is. Um, you'll see armadillos. You'll see deer. I mean, you'll see a whole bunch of wildlife in the south side.
On the south
Every
side, yeah,
every
I've heard that. I've heard that. Hmm.
it's just it goes alive. It's just if whoever doesn't believe in the LBL, right? Because I
Hmm.
have I'm skeptic about the events that happen there as well.
Hmm.
But even if you don't believe, going through the LBL somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning, you will realize that the north side is dead and the south side is alive. It's just the eeriest thing ever.
Right, right. Yeah, I
You know.
believe it. I've heard many stories about that, saying the exact same thing. I've heard people coming in through the south, and they see wildlife everywhere, and as soon as they get to like towards the north end where it starts, I guess somewhere in the middle or three quarters way up, it's just dead silent, dude. Just like eerie, dead silent, bro. As they're going through there, and they're like, that's what really makes their hair stand. All that silent. There's been many stories. There was that one story about that old guy on Vic's show that he was driving with his wife through there, pulling a camper or a trailer or something, and he was
Mhm.
driving. And as soon as he got to the north side, something hit his trailer, and he got out to inspect. What a dumbass! But he got out to inspect. I don't know if he didn't know about LBO or what, but he got out to inspect. Well, I guess he didn't because that's when he came to Vic Show after it happened and gave his encounter. Well, he got out, inspected, didn't see anything. Then he looked in the woods, and good thing he had his gun on him, and looked in the woods, and there was just this tall, dark creature just standing there looking straight at him. And he kind of just pointed his gun, and he said that creature said like no with his hand and whatever. And then like holy shoot! And then I guess he just went back to his truck and took off. And his wife was like, "What was that or whatever?" And he lied to her. He said it was just some animal, whatever, little animal. And that was one encounter that I remember about the north side of LBL. He stopped and then he took off. Then there was another one where there was this guy. He was started driving through the south side, and he even named the little town. And I looked it up, and it does exist, that little town. He said he was driving by there, and everybody looked at him like he was crazy, like what are you doing, whatever. And he even stopped and told him. He said, "Hey, I'm going to North LBL, blah blah." And they're like, "Well, good luck with that or whatever." And they said, "Just be careful," because I guess they knew. And he went
Well,
up. Hmm.
go ahead.
Okay,
No, I
and
was
then
gonna
he,
say
he went
that
up to this. He went up to this like little ravine right there, and he said
uh
he heard something. He went up to like this little parking spot or whatever, right there on the north side of LBO, and he even named like the little branch or whatever. But I couldn't find it. I looked for it on Google Earth, couldn't find it. But I kind of knew the area he was talking about, and he like to the water, right? He went to the edge of the water, and then he said something spooked him, and something he started hearing something or whatever, and something kind of just started chasing him, and he just jumped in his truck and took off, dude. And he was hauling ass till he didn't stop till he got to passing the bridge on the north side. You pass the bridge and you get to another little small town. That's where he
yep.
stopped, like in a city. And I was like, man, that's crazy, dude. That's why I don't know about
Yeah.
LBL, bro. I mean, I'll
Well,
probably drive by there, but I'm not gonna stop there, dude. Hell no.
well, what's even more eerie is like I got there somewhere around I'm gonna say about 12:30, and there's not one car driving through there. There's not one person. There's when I say there's no movement, there's no life. That
Hmm.
includes human life. There's like nothing, nobody there.
Right? Yeah,
I
yeah. No
drove
people, no animals, no nothing. Yeah. Hmm.
nothing. I drove the entire length of the LBL that night,
Hmm.
and not one car passed me.
Yeah, I bet, man. Wow.
Nope. And then
I would.
the best part about it, I had no
Uh huh.
signal from the north side to the south side.
What? Really? The whole thing? The whole
The
as you were
whole
crossing?
thing, no signal whatsoever.
Ooh, man. Damn, bro. Imagine if you had a flat tire, bro, or your car stalls for some reason, man. That's it, man. You're goner, dude. I can't.
The, the the only good thing is that your phone is allowed to call 911 in case of emergency.
It does.
But that's it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't call a friend. You can't tell people, hey, listen, some crap is happening to me in the LBL right now. You can't do nothing because I had absolutely no signal whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard that. I heard that no, some people don't get signal or lose signal when they're out there. That is crazy, bro. I don't know if it's what it is. Maybe the dense woods or something, but or something else. I don't know. Paranormal. hmm That's
No, no, it's
prohibiting the signal to get through, man. I don't know. You never know out there, dude. Man, I just Tom said it, man. I'd love to go to LBL. I'm like, hell no, man. He just said it right now. Eric too. He says, Eric says, I'm in Tennessee. Haven't been to LBL. That would be badass to investigate. Yeah, no, it would be. But the only reason I would go, bro, is like with a big group of experts slash researchers slash investigators slash boots on the ground slash balls of steel people. You know what I mean? That's the only way I would go out there, bro. I would not go out there by myself. Hell to the no. but
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
if I had signal, I'd go and call somebody and have them here, and every time something happens, because normally since I've started researching, I've never in the beginning, I never really took anything out to the field like
mm-hmm,
recorders and all that stuff.
mm-hmm,
So it's a habit that I have of just grabbing my backpack, throwing it on, and walking. But I don't like I haven't programmed myself to put stuff on me to record, and some stuff
mm-hmm,
just happens out of nowhere. But
mm-hmm.
if I had signal, it'd be nice because I can call somebody, and have them hear what I'm hearing or whatnot. But but I had a recorder, and that recorder got I don't know. Something happened to it while it was on the field. It no longer turns on.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say what happened to it, but I don't know. So it's just I double checked it when I before going out, and at one point in the field, I have a bionic ear that went nuts, and from that point on, my recorder stopped working.
Ooh,
So
man.
I don't know.
Hey, you know what? You know Paul, right? Paul Chafin?
Who?
Paul Chafin from Kentucky Dogman Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought you did. He said that out there in Daniel Boone, and I don't know if it might be the same for LBL, but he says out there in the Daniel Boone National Forest that the batteries drain really, really fast for some strange reason. He doesn't know why, but they do. Because I was asking him about GoPro. I said, why
Hmm.
doesn't anybody have a clear, sorry, but fucking video or pictures of the goddamn or a Bigfoot or a Dogman or whatever? I mean, it's fucking 2021, bro. We're not in 1971 anymore, bro. What are all these blurry pictures about? I said, why doesn't anybody take a damn what you call it GoPro or everybody have a GoPro? You know what I mean? He's like, well, the batteries don't last too long. He said, you got to take a shitload of batteries out there to do that because the batteries only last you like maybe 20, 30 minutes out there. Where out here in the city, they'll last you about a good 2 hours. But out there, they
Yeah.
only last you about 30 minutes, bro, each one. So you would have to
Yeah.
take like 20, 30 of them.
Once you get to areas that have creeks and waters, and the moisture is high, your batteries won't last much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at first, there's always thoughts of why that happens. I
Mm-hmm.
remember years ago, there were some researchers that had nothing to do with cryptozoology. Um, they were studying something out somewhere in Washington, and their camera batteries also drained, and it
Mm-hmm.
had to do with mineral deposits in the soil, moisture and sulfur, the right conditions. It just
Mm-hmm.
it just drains your batteries. Um, so when you're going out in the field, I guess nobody has really, I haven't put much thought to it.
Right, right. But you see, that's a
Create
common thing. That's a common thing out in the forest, especially where there's
right,
sightings, and so that makes it
right,
kind of intriguing if it's paranormal or what. But
but it
you know,
but it happens. It happens with scientists who are not researching
hmm
cryptids, who are studying environmental stuff when there's creeks and waters and moisture.
right, right. Hey, let me ask you a question real quick, Rick. Alfred Santoriga wants to know: do you what? Sorry, does you parabolic microphone? Okay, does your parabolic microphone have a recording mode on it? You know how that
Um,
parabolic little thing you take out there microphone? Does it
yeah,
have a
yeah.
recording? Uh huh.
My bionic ear
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a recorder. I
Mm-hmm.
have a recorder that amplifies noises as well. That does record. Um, Now, when I use that, I can have both the amplified, hearing plus record
Mm-hmm.
whatever the recorder is recording. I've had it for a year. Like I said, it just the other day I went out and now it doesn't turn on. And it cost me a pretty penny. Um, but it's so good because the mics on it, the not the mics, yeah, the mics on it. There's two mics, and both mics rotate left, right, up, and down, so you can point it to wherever you want, and it picks up, on a whole 360, wherever the noise is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That one, when I do plug it in and use it as a amplifier for myself, it does record whatever I have out there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty cool. Then, does it have like a little thing for storage for like a SD card or anything like that where you can
Oh yeah,
record stuff
oh
on?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
oh yeah.
nice,
I used
nice,
it.
nice.
I I've used it on a 5-day expedition, and
Mm-hmm.
every day it was used like twice. So I have a lot of files on one SD card,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, sometimes I have I've also used a makeshift parabolic, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put that in front of the parabolic, so that becomes the mic of the parabolic. And I'll set that out, and that picks up. Oh my lord, that picks up so much noise and activity that you just can't realize. Um, and because of those little things, we realized certain vocalizations because they happen right after something else happens. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like for instance, one of the vocalizations that you may not have heard on Facebook. Um, they make this airplane type noise. Normally, they do it to move themselves, or if they have young ones. But it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like an airplane. The only difference that you realize that it's not an airplane is because it's over your head for the past 5 minutes and it's not moving, and it starts and it drops, and then so at first, the first time I heard it, that I picked up on it on my audio, was in Illinois, and it was just there and there. And all that day, I got chased out, or pushed back. I won't say chased, but I got pushed out of an area. There was two sightings. I spotted one. The guy that was with me spotted another one behind me, and these guys started going left and right, like in some semicircles, trying to get me out. I have a recording of one of them huffing at me. But one of the things that was that you can hear is an airplane. It to me it sounds like an airplane,
Hmm.
and it was just there and there and there and there and there, and I'm like, so I asked if the guy was, hey, was there an airplane passing by the day that this happened? And he goes, no. So I began to ask eyewitnesses, and sure enough, every single eyewitness in a certain situation has heard the airplane noise. So I put it into practice out in the field to to listen for it and pick up on it. And
Hmm.
sure enough, the the bastard plays this airplane type noise. It's just they're just making noise to distract you. I guess most people look up when they hear an airplane. I don't know,
Right.
but
Do you?
I've had eyewitnesses that I've worked with from European countries that'll hear the same thing.
Right. So, who do you think is making that helicopter noise or that plane noise?
They are.
They are. You talking about the
They are.
cryptids? Bigfoot and
Yeah.
Dogman?
No, Dogman.
Dog, what? Because I remember you telling me one time
Yeah.
we spoke. You said they like to move whenever a plane goes by there or a helicopter goes
Right.
by
Okay.
there. Uh
They'll
huh.
move when ambient noises are around. So if you're in an area where there's trucks or traffic, right, or whatnot, they will move when a noise comes.
Uh huh. Right.
So like in thunderstorms or in rainy times, they like to
Uh
move a
huh.
lot because the noise of the rain and thunder,
Mm-hmm.
covers up their movement. But
Mm-hmm.
if they have to move and they don't have a noise to cover their movement, they'll do it their damn selves.
Really?
Hmm. In Tennessee,
Wow.
in Tennessee, which we had both a visual, right, and an audio, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean a visual with a night vision goggles. It was for a
Mm-hmm.
split second because once it saw the red the IR on it, it just boop, ducked. But for that couple of
Right.
seconds,
The
it
infrared.
was clear as
Mm-hmm.
day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It started it started making what it sounded like a train coming, right?
Wow. Okay.
But at first we thought, oh, the train is coming. And then we realized, well, wait a minute, the train comes from that direction and it's sounding from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming from the opposite direction. Um,
Wow.
and there's other noises. I was with Paul not too long ago,
Yeah.
and in the field they did one which is like a rapid clicking. I mean, if you're not used, if you don't know your animals, the first animal that you would think of is a
Mm-hmm.
cicada bug,
Oh
but the
yeah, I hate
clicking is
those. I
different.
hate those damn things. Yeah,
Right,
no,
right,
yeah,
but
they do more like a chatter. You know what I mean? It's not so much as a click. It's more of a chatter,
right,
like
right.
like that. You know, like a fast drum or something.
Right,
Loud
right. But
ass, loud ass
the
noise, annoying as hell.
the
Hmm.
Dogman does the same, but it's just more of a click, 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 click. But it's fast.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and if you're not paying attention to the rhythm and the loudness of it, like the one we heard when I was with Paul was
Hmm.
loud. I mean, it just came out like really loud. I sent Paul an audio so he
Hmm.
can hear it. Obviously, my audio was from far away,
Hmm.
and some people might ask, well, how do you know it's them? The same way a police officer knows you're speeding, right? You look at
Right.
other evidence. So,
Right.
like for instance, we've had tree knocks, and then you hear
Hmm.
that all of a sudden,
Hmm.
and then the dogmen that were around you leave. Or you'll have like a tree pushed over, then you'll have that noise, and then the activity that you had with the dog man all of a sudden stops.
Hey
We
Rick,
had
tell me about that one time that you told me about. What was it to repel Dogman because they're scared of fire? I've said it before, and you
oh
said yeah, use a mosquito spray and a lighter, right, as a torch, as a blowtorch, right? I mean, does that
yeah,
work? I've heard it, but I've
I
never actually
used to
tried
use
it.
that. I mean, years years ago,
hmm
right? Um, when they were in my and when you know how you throw water on the a hot bonfire, you get the smoke
hmm
and you get the spark, the crackling sound and all this.
hmm
That made a dog man that was at the opposite side of the property get up from his squatted position. He was looking at us for a while, don't know how long. But when that
hmm
happened, he got up and he just started. His head started going left and right, left and right, left and right, and that boy darted and ran both on two and on four legs. When we began
Damn.
to throw water on that fire, and that thing began to crackle, snap, have the popping
hmm
sounds or whatever. Then time later on, I began to talk to an eyewitness. You know, I won't say eyewitness slash landowner who he himself used fire to make them run to leave because sometimes they would stand in front of him
hmm
out in the woods and he'd use that and they scatter. So which made sense with what happened in our house with the water and the fire. So it just became a habit for me to just bring with me a small can of mosquito spray and one of those little torches, you know,
hmm
and that's all I've ever used.
Oh, so the torch is
They,
better than the lighter?
well, the little torches
Well, because they
normally
don't turn off with the wind, right?
right,
And the lighter
and
does.
when you click on it,
hmm
it's an automatic. You're gonna get the fire, the torch versus
hmm
a lighter. You might have to click, and then it gets on, and then like you said, if there's wind or whatever.
Yeah, it'll turn
So
it
I just
off.
used
That little
right. So I
torch,
just used
yeah.
one of those little torches.
hmm Yep. Yeah, makes sense.
But it's yeah, mosquito spray works all the time. It just like I said, once they and I don't all I've done is do a flare like in the air.
hmm
Like I don't leave it on and have it burn.
On for a long time or whatever. You just
No.
kind of do like
It's
a
it
bluff charge
bluff
burn.
and
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. And let's see the
And that
fire and yeah,
boop,
yeah.
you know.
I think that's the only thing that I've heard that they're really afraid of fire. I think they're more afraid of fire than weapons. I think. I don't know. Could be wrong.
It. But what happens when you fire a gun? Also,
Well, it burns you, the little hole, but it's a quick burn. It's not like burn you, like
well,
straight
right?
burning
No,
you.
no, 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 no. But in the barrel when the bullet comes out, there's a spark.
hmm Right.
So you can relate the spark or that when the bullet comes out with the same pop of the of a flare from
Well, hmm
the mosquito spray and torch.
well, you know why I think that
So rather
they're more
they think it's you're firing at them or not. I don't have the slightest idea, but it works.
right. But look, this is what I'm saying, Rick. I think they're more scared of fire because of this. Because they live in the woods and there's been fire out in the woods and they have had, their own kind burn out in the woods. And they've seen it firsthand how they burn alive. And that's why they're scared of fire. And the arm, like I mean, you know, like
Well, yeah.
weapon, they're not. You know what I mean? They're like they don't know what that does, and it shoots a little bitty hole in their skin or whatever, and they look at it and just laugh at you like, what's that? What's that gonna do? You know what I mean? Where fire, you know, it keeps going, it burns you alive. So that's
Right,
why I
right, right,
think
right.
they're more scared of fire. Mm. So.
And a lot of animals are precautious. I'm gonna use the word precautious of fire.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, unless you've bred a dog for high drive and psychoticness for working, most
Hmm.
dogs will like back up when they see fire. You know, not I'm not saying scared, but
Yeah,
they
they
use
do.
precaution.
They do. When they
You
see
know,
fire, they back
um,
off. Oh yeah,
so,
like they know automatically know.
right.
Hmm.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's just right, right. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just something that I've always used. And it's always in my backpack. I don't.
Hmm.
I haven't carried a gun. Was when we are out in a specific area for a couple of days. So one or two individuals will carry a gun, but the gun is mostly
Hmm.
for bears or wolves in the areas that we've been at, not necessarily for protecting of cryptids. Um, but I've always gone lightweight, so that's the
Right.
most lightweight that I got is that.
Yeah. 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 No. Like I was telling Tom, you know, and all our cryptid buddies that I wouldn't go out there, like especially LBL. I wouldn't go out there with it, at least nothing less than an AK-47, bro. You know, even though I've heard people say that AK-47 doesn't do it nothing either, but I don't know. You know, I know it's gonna hold them back. It might not kill them, but I know it's gonna hold them back enough for me to run back to the car or something, you know, and take off. But
Right, right, right.
but yeah, hey, so tell us what you been up to lately, man. I know you got that property. You recently got that property. Have you been out there in that property? Have you explored that property? Have you been out there to do some research on that property? Tell us,
I
man. I'm
have not.
anxious to know.
Um,
No.
on the property, I have not. I did the other day. I went up there for. I don't know why I went up there for something. And I got a hit on a vocalization.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot pinpoint if it was a Dogman or a Sasquatch. Some of the vocalizations that they do, they both do them, both Sasquatch and
Mm-hmm.
Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I heard whatever it was moving through through the trees and the brush. But the area that the property that I bought is so thick
Mm-hmm.
that it'll take a while for of me cleaning and whatnot for me to be able to look into my property. Now, the property that it's adjoined to it has some trails in there, and there's a creek in the
Mm.
back part.
Yes, that's what I was
Um,
gonna ask you. Is there any creeks? Is there any ravines in there? Is there any?
yeah,
You
there's
know?
tons of veins back there and clear
Man.
water as well.
Ooh,
Um,
man.
there's just tons.
That's
So, are
prime.
there
That's
cryptids?
prime dogman territory right there, man. You know that.
Are, are there cryptids out there? It's perfect habitat. You got tons of deer back
Right.
there.
Right.
Um, Now, what I find weird, I say about the property right now is that when you go in there, like you don't see squirrels, you don't see deer. I mean, you don't see nothing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
quiet. What you hear out in the distance a bit is some of the birds,
Mm-hmm.
but when you get there, it's like really quiet. I mean, yes, there's deer tracks, but unlike when you drive towards the property, you'll see deer crossing the roads. And on the other property before I bought mines, there was an area where you actually saw deer on the property.
Mm-hmm.
On this area, like there's nothing there. You know, you don't every time I've been up there, it's been quiet. like quiet, which is weird because if I showed you where the property's at on a map, like you got miles upon miles upon miles upon miles of woods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it'd be
Well, you were telling me your property was like nothing but woods all around it, right? I mean, of course, there's a clearing area for your property. And then you got the tree line right. You know what? It would have maybe 100 yards from your property,
no, my property right
or
now
is it
hasn't been
right?
cleared. Hasn't been cleared. That's why the bulldozer was coming in today.
Okay,
Everything is
okay.
just wood, trees
Oh,
everywhere.
damn.
I mean, you got it's just trees. It's just trees
Hey, well,
upon trees upon trees.
make sure you don't, because that's heavy brush out there, man. Make sure you don't leave that tree line too close to your house, buddy, because you know you're gonna have some activity right there.
I think the only thing I'm worried about is having um bad activity
Hmm.
too early in the move with my wife.
Okay.
You know,
Are you?
when we had them in the other property, you know, we've been living there for like 2 or 3 years before we realized that they were there.
Hmm.
So it was simply, you know, hey, put the dogs inside before dark and don't go outside unless you have to, and make sure you look up and sideways before you get
Let
to your
me
car.
let me ask you a question. I'm pretty sure Alfred and Tom and Lee want to know, and Anthony, are you gonna have livestock out there, bro?
We are having chickens, we are having goats.
Uh huh.
We may have a cattle, I mean like a cow or something,
Hmm.
or a pig, but it's more of raising it to then butchering it and filling the freezer. And once
Because
the freezer goes,
out there in them woods out in the middle of nowhere, you know that's free game for a predator, right?
oh yeah, absolutely,
Okay. Just saying, just
absolutely,
pointing that. I'm just pointing out the obvious. I mean, because I remember you saying you were going to have some type of livestock out there, maybe a cow, maybe a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
horse,
yeah.
pigs or whatever.
We
Which is all
are, we
good. I
are.
mean, for your living, your personal living, you got milk, you got eggs, you got all that. With a pig, you got bacon or whatever pig meat you get out of that, whatever. But I mean, just saying, it's being out there in the middle of nowhere, man. That's just kind of gonna bring predators in. That's the way I
Well,
see it, anyway.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's
So,
part of living out in the woods, though.
are you willing to cope with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I
And it
was
may
I,
not even be
I
a
was
cryptid.
raised.
It might be a bear. It might be a coyote. It might be a wolf. It might be a cougar. It might be whatever. I mean, just there's a lot of predators. You know,
Well, yeah,
not
yeah. I
not
mean,
necessarily
I'm not
been a
worried about the
cryptid.
predators.
Hmm.
I got uh, I got some uh, some bulldogs that are coming into the property.
Hmm.
So I'm not worried about coyotes. Definitely not worried about bears.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm not saying that a dog is going to beat up a bear. That ain't not. I'm not saying that, right? But
Hmm.
um, the dogs that I used to breed and have are bred to chase large predators out. And when it comes to coyotes, one coyote, two coyotes,
Hmm.
and right now there's already four dogs. So unless the pack of coyotes is 10, I'm not too worried. Um, but obviously, when it comes to cryptids,
Hmm.
we have one rule of thumb: when night falls, all dogs go inside the house.
Hmm.
Cryptids don't like, especially Dogman, don't like yappers. So if you have yappers and you leave them outside, chances are they're going to
Hmm.
be dead.
What's a
Um,
yapper? What's a yapper? I don't know what that is.
a, yeah, by a yapper. what I mean by that is a dog that barks at every movement in the trees.
Oh,
So if you have a
okay. I see what
dog
you're saying.
that you leave outside, right, and
Hold on, hold on.
it barks at a leaf that fell, or if it barks at coyotes, at the deers, at everything, right, and you have cryptids, especially dogman, that are trying to go through the property or whatnot quietly,
Right.
they will take out the dog. That's a given. So with us, and I tell eyewitnesses this too. If you know you have dogs on the property, make sure your dogs are inside at
Right.
nighttime. Leave them the night. Let them run
Hmm.
around, do whatever they want to do. Leave them the night. Put your dogs inside.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Right.
my dogs are normally yappers, but I still don't leave them outside. Um, all dogs are traded inside the house, and then they're let out in the morning. And when the clan used to come by the property back in Wisconsin, they never touched the dogs. Hell, they never touched a cat. Um, and the cat always stayed near the near the property, near the yard. He never went out, but they never really touched any of the animals. But again, one night fell, all dogs were put up. Um, a lot of dogs die because they're outside in their kennels. They're left out in the yard, and they're like barking up a storm because they hear something or they see something, and they do get taken out, which is sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yappy dog. somebody put yappy dog. German shepherds or yappers. Okay, yeah. So they're the ones that are just barking
Yeah.
at everything.
Well,
Yeah.
they are though. They
Yeah.
are. They for the most part, German shepherds are yappers. They'll bark and bark and bark.
Hmm.
Um, you know, uh, my I had a Belgian Malinois that would she'd go ballistic
Hmm.
when she would see them.
Hmm.
But her idea was to get out to go after them. Um, and every time we would do a bonfire out at the yard, we would leave her next to the kennel, because she'd warn us from the direction, because she would bark in the direction that she would see them.
Hmm.
So we always knew where they were at because of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're yappy yappy yappy. That's all they do, is they just bark bark bark.
And where you live now, is that out in the country too, or no? Or is that in a city, more like a city area?
I live more like the city area.
Hmm.
But the area that I live is next to a river, and on that river there has been sightings.
Mm, okay.
Um, not too long ago, the city town, the town, it's called the city of Mayville, because but it's a little town, right?
Hmm.
It, it has a lot of houses though. But anyways, they has a little park next to a school.
Hmm.
What I was thinking, I went into the park, and the park, I mean, it's probably a mile and something to go around the whole, and I don't know, it was dusk.
Hmm.
I came out at nighttime, but I entered home dusk. And as I'm walking, the weird thing that happened was, how if you put your cell phone on a metal table and it starts vibrating,
Hmm.
around. I'm like, what in the world? My cell phone is not vibrating in my pocket. It doesn't sound like that. And I'm looking at, and I picked up my cell phone. I was like, my cell phone ain't even on. What the heck? And I'm like, and I kept on hearing that. And I'm looking to the side, and I'm like, and it sounds just like that. It sounds like if you put your cell phone on top of a metal table, and it started vibrating. And I'm like, looking around. So okay, whatever. I kept on going, and it's behind me now, and I'm looking around, and my brain was kind of thinking to myself, well, is it a cryptid? What the hell is that?
Mm-hmm.
Right before I left the park. Now, mind you, there's a high school in front of the park. Part of the park is used to play baseball for the high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a town that has a significant amount of homes, and there's homes in front of the park. Before
Mm-hmm.
I walked out the park, I got a strong whistle at me, and I turned around towards the whistle. I smiled because in my brain was, "Holy shit! You
Mm-hmm.
got to be kidding me!" In
Mm-hmm.
this little town, I mean, this little park, there's cryptids. Now, obviously, I'm gonna assume it was a Bigfoot. But the town is very small. Many people believe that cryptids are in, a lot of forest or a lot of, you know, uh, uh, uh,
¿Dónde tienes?
big national parks or whatnot. If the environment is good, you will find them in small parks. Um, Actually, the day that I got uh, pushed back in Illinois, again, that was a small area. From where I was standing, I can see three homes from where I was standing, and I'm right next to a large parking lot. And across the river, you had schools, the city council, something like that, all visible from where I was at. You know, they if you have the right scenarios, they do come in areas where you think, nah, not here. Yeah, they're there too. It's just that most people just don't pay attention to things, and then they mimic birds, they mimic things. So as far as you're listening to a blue jay. One of the things that I always told people that ask me about going out in the field is, if you're walking and you hear a bird in front of you, just turn your head. If the bird shuts up all of a sudden, then it's a cryptid. Because one is making a noise, so you can look forward, so the other one behind you can creep up closer to you. If you turn around really quickly and that one bird shuts up all of a sudden, like just out of the blue, just shuts up, it's a holy shit, he turned around moment. And 9 out of 10, every time I've done that, I've had a black flash of something behind me going to the woodlines. And I tell people all that time, if you're on the field and you hear something, that you hear a bird or something in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
just sporadically turn around really quickly. If everything goes quiet, you are being followed. You know,
Mm-hmm. Hey, you
but
know
it's
what?
just people don't pick up on all the mimicry.
Right, right. Hey, do you remember the episode or the show on Dark Waters where he went out to Taylor, Mississippi, and met some guy out there that wanted to show him a hot spot where he knows Dogman were at, and he left him he took off when he was in that little truck, little S10 truck or whatever. He took off on him and left him there. Do you remember that? Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Well, remember how
Yep,
he
yep.
said?
I
Okay,
remember that one.
remember how he said that the
Yep,
the
sure
dog
do.
men were coming, and they sounded like bulldozers or whatever. He said that guy told him, "Hey, get in the truck because they're coming," and he wouldn't get in. He would get in. He was just just stuck there, stupefied or whatever. And that guy fucking took off thinking he was in the car with him or the truck with him, whatever. He said he was calling out like the yards that were coming as they were getting closer and closer. Well, remember he mentioned about the crows that they were just squawking and squawking, and then when they got real close, he said they just
Uh-huh.
those birds told him like quack 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 quack. They got all crazy, like like letting them know that something was coming, letting them know that something was there, and he picked up on that on the crows, squawking so fast and so loud and whatever, letting them know. So. He said, but he didn't, but he didn't listen to the birds. He said, I should have listened to the birds, but I didn't. Well, I heard something keeps like staticking. I don't know if that's your phone or your speaker or something. I hear like a static kind of. Um. So anyway, well, you remember that? Okay, that was like one of the times that I heard about the birds, right? I was like, okay. And then there was other encounters that I heard about birds as well. And right now that you're mentioning about the birds, I just saw like because I'm on TikTok because it's entertaining. I know it's stupid or whatever, but it's entertaining, man. You laugh a lot. You laugh a lot. There's a lot of stupid things people do, and it just makes you laugh, right? Well, there's some on there that are quite serious, like about UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, like videos that are leaked or whatever. Well, there was this one I ran into, and it was this lady saying that she's got a farm, she's got a big property, and that she keeps hearing these noises out in the woods, and she goes like to the edge of her property line, and then it's maybe I don't know, I'm gonna say maybe 100 yards to the tree line, and she says she hears things back there, right? And a couple of times she recorded like a part one and a part two, and at first it was like blue jays that were kind of just you could tell the difference between a blue jay and a crow. Okay, well the first part is it was some blue jays like ring ring ring, whatever, but on the second part she said there's something over there. I can tell, I can feel it. She said there's something over there. I don't know what it is. Can y'all tell me what it is? I actually wrote down there. I think you may have a cryptid on your property. I don't know if she knows what cryptid is or whatever, but I said it might be a Bigfoot, it may be a Dogman or whatever. I don't know if she knows what I was talking about that either. But anyway, on the second part, dude, the crows started cracking like real bad, like rah, 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 like, and it scared her. It scared her enough. She said, "Okay, I'm out here," and she turned around and went back in to her house. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
that's like that's common sense. But
Well,
yeah,
they
talking about the birds, yeah.
yeah, no, and even in the wild, crows will follow like wolves to get the scraps.
Yeah.
And with crows and vultures, I always follow those two as well. Crows and
Hmm.
vultures. Sometimes not every time, but sometimes the crows do follow the dog man.
Yeah, and
Um,
and, and, and let me read this real quick to you. Alfred Sanariga said, "Crows and squirrel will always sound the alarm when predators come into the area." I agree with that. I agree,
yes, I agree.
completely agree with that, 100%. Yeah.
And and I learned this right, and
Hmm.
I looked this up. A squirrel will have a different call for a human than he
Hmm.
does for a canine.
Wow, really?
Hmm. So
Damn.
you can tell what's coming by
Yeah.
its call.
Right. Wow, that's crazy, dude. Well, I mean, if you've been out there in the forest long enough, yeah, like a hunter or something, then they'll know, right? Or a researcher, that's
Yeah,
always going
it.
out.
I think it's just squirrels like one. They do this like these little barks. They're like one is for one thing and two is for something else. So you'll know what is in front or what's around by the
Hmm.
different call that the squirrel
Call,
does.
yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. That. Do you know this? I mean, is this your testament? Is this your work?
I
That you,
learned that from another researcher early
okay,
on, and I
okay,
put it into practice, and then
and it's
obviously
true,
I'm always somebody who doesn't go by what somebody says, but
right?
I
You go out
also
there
research.
and
Right.
mm-hmm,
So I looked it up,
mm-hmm,
and apart from cryptids,
mm-hmm,
when you look up the squirrel's vocalization, you'll find that information.
mm-hmm.
So in the field, they'll do the same thing. So you'll know what's around, by by their own vocalizations, which is neat as hell.
Yes, that's awesome, dude. I mean, I never heard of that. It's the first time I'm hearing this. And I think it completely makes sense, man. If you pay attention to their calls, either squirrels or birds, you will know what's in the
Hmm.
in the vicinity with you. Yeah,
Always, always, always.
never thought about that, man. I'm not a hunter or a gatherer, so
Yep.
so I don't know anything about the woods, bro. I'm completely ignorant about the woods. I'm
Well, no,
sorry.
but it's when when you're out there researching, there's more to research than trying to catch, a cryptid or take a picture of a cryptid.
Hmm.
If you just go out there trying to put cameras and stuff like that, or trying to see a cryptid, all of a sudden you might have very little success. But when you go out there and go through the environment, if you find a track, study the track. Talk to a good tracker. A track can tell you if the cryptid is going left or right, if it's stopped,
Hmm.
if it's shifted. Because remember, every time you turn your head, your body shifts in weight. So a track
Really?
can tell you a lot. So a track can tell you a lot of things. But
Hmm.
and then your surroundings, your birds, pay attention to that. Look stuff up.
Hey,
Today we had.
let me ask you a question that I've never asked you. Have you ever went out investigating with a Native American that knows how to pick up on tracks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. One
Wow.
of
Where
our
was he from? What nation was he from, or what? Tell us.
he's Cherokee.
Cherokee. Okay.
He's a registered Cherokee. He lives in Illinois. He's one of the guys that comes with us
Mm-hmm.
to research.
Mm-hmm.
He's his. I met him because his daughter became an eyewitness. Now he's seen Bigfoot a lot. Like he'll have
Mm-hmm.
pictures that he's personally drawn because he knows how to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And he's drawn every Bigfoot he's ever seen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this dude can make a wicked Bigfoot chatter. Like
Wow.
if you close your eyes, you wouldn't notice the difference. um, and like I said, we made up because he had heard me on social media. His daughter had an encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up messaging each other, and before you know it, we were going out in the field. I learned a lot from him. Um, because he's out there. We were out there. We've done all nighters. We've done. Actually, he was the one with me the day in Illinois when I got pushed out.
Oh,
He saw
really?
one, I saw the other one. When I first saw the first one, because I went out there for tracks to
How
find
old is
tracks.
he? How old is he? Your
Ooh,
native buddy.
50, late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a spring.
Wow.
He's not a spring chicken. Yeah, he's like late 50s, early 60s, around there. Yes.
Sorry about that. Guy just had a little
I
small
was wondering
interruption.
you went so silent on me.
Yeah, had a little interruption, but um,
Yeah, he like I said, he wants to go back to his property. He has property in northern Illinois,
mhm,
um, which is inheritance.
mhm,
Um, but right now he's living in Illinois.
mhm. Wow. I know. I met a guy, and he's native. I don't know if he's on here right now. He was on here earlier at the very beginning. I don't see him on there anymore. But I was talking to him, and kind of like getting to know him, and asking him about his native, you know, uh, uh, you know, the way they do things, and his native heritage, and culture, and what they how they see things, with cryptids and all that. And he's explained to me. So I'm kind of like making friends with him, and trying to see if I can maybe bring him on later on the show, because he is Native American. He's also
Hmm.
Cherokee, I think, and to see what he can tell us, about cryptids, because I know Native Americans really don't like to talk about that sort of stuff, but he does. He has with me, at least he has with me. He's explained many things, but um, I don't know. I
I
want. I
think
want to. Hmm.
I think it's not the not liking to talk about it. I think it's how you ask them.
Really? Okay.
It has to do with respect, and it has to do with dignity. So you're asking
Hmm.
them something about the culture. You have to go about it a certain way.
Yeah,
You just can't
traditions.
go up
Somebody
to
said traditions. Hmm.
right. You just can't. It's like um you just can't go up to an individual and blatantly ask them something
Right.
about their tradition, because they're gonna look at you weird. Like who in the world, why are you
Hmm.
asking me that?
Right.
So it's how you go about asking them.
Hmm.
Which obviously, it's he might be willing to talk to you because you guys are friends,
Right.
but when it comes to other people, it's more of a
Right.
closed book.
Right. That's the thing too, that I don't know if he's gonna want to come out, and tell everybody everything he's told me, to the public, because he might feel like, yeah, I'm a friend, and I can, listen to what he has to say, but then when it comes to like a big crowd, he might not want to,
Right, right.
participate in that, because it's traditions, like Lee said. Oh, I got a question real quick from Al Santariga, man. He says, does he use any special items to draw them in? Talking about your buddy, the Cherokee.
Yeah, yeah. I got I got vocalizations that I use. Some of them I'll use with my own mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Others I have recorded, and I'll use a little Bluetooth speaker. Um, so but the vocalizations that I use, whichever ones that I end up using, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or okay, the main ones that I use, they have to be in a specific topography and time of the night.
Mm-hmm.
When everything is aligned up. So, a specific time frame in specific areas where this and this is found, I'll do the vocalization, and not once has it ever failed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even I gave the vocalization to an older gentleman here in Wisconsin, and he used it, and in the morning he sends me a message. Whoa! Not even 10 minutes, and they were already in here. Because Dogman's very curious. So the vocalization that I have sparks that curiosity to come investigate. Now, what you do when they arrive will dictate if they never show up again or if they will show up every time you go there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, some vocations I have with my own mouth, I will do like when I went with Paul the other day. Hopefully, he won't get upset if I like me talking about the area.
Mm-hmm.
I use I use one vocalization that
Mm-hmm.
that I've heard them do
Mm-hmm.
in particular situations. And sure enough, I got the same vocalization back. Obviously, they know how to do it better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because when I heard it, I told Paul, "That's what I was trying to imitate. That's what I was trying to imitate." Um, and obviously they know how to do it better. Um, but the biggest curiosity they have when you go out in the field um, is when you learn their chatter and their I'm gonna use the in parentheses their speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you are able to pick that up and understand that when you're out in the field,
Mm-hmm.
the minute they realize, the second they realize that you know that they're talking to each other, it's like if you're going out in into a new country and you heard somebody speaking Spanish.
Right. Right.
You're gonna want to go find out how he knows Spanish when you're in Japan or something.
Right. 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 Hey,
And
I'm
that has
sorry.
been the
I want to interrupt you really quick, Rick. Just want to point out that my daughter's in the chat right now. Her name is Wally Agata, and she's listening in. She really doesn't come on here as much as I would like to, but she comes out every once in a while. She comes into the lives. But yeah, hi, baby. Just wanted to say hi real quick to my daughter because she's normally not here. Uh, and I have a
Hey, Wally.
question also from. Thank you, Rick. I have a question also from Lee. Man, he says, has he ever had any of the batteries in his electrical equipment drain when the cryptids are around? Which I'm pretty sure that's a yes, right?
Yes. But again,
Mm-hmm.
it's what we were talking before.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to some areas where the
Mm-hmm.
batteries don't drain whatsoever.
Wow.
The recorder is out all night. I go to sleep, and in the morning I shut it off. You know,
Okay.
and I've had some places where it's very moist. It's you have creeks and rivers. It had just rained the night before, or it's about to
Mm-hmm.
rain that night, and you're out there, and your battery's drained.
Right. Right.
Um,
Let
so
me let me make this question, and I need to run to the restroom real quick while you answering that question. Okay, I'll be right back,
okay,
buddy. Here's a question on this from Alfred Sanriga. He says, "Does he ever do gifting?" And I'll be back in 2 minutes, brother.
okay. Um, the the gifting. Um, Gifting is a complicated thing. And I'll explain. Do I ever do gifting? Sometimes. But it's inanimate objects, uh, marbles, quartz, um, uh, essence, like catnip or whatnot. But it's tricky when it comes to the gifting because what happens with gifting is there's and I'm going to use this terminology to explain it, right? And obviously every living creature can be conditioned to something, but the way you condition a wild animal is different from the way you condition a domestic animal. What we call is predictable training or conditioning and unpredictable training or conditioning. Um, with a wild animal, you cannot use unpredictable conditioning or else they get aggressive. So, for instance, in a dog, you give him a treat every time he sits. Well, that's predictable. The dog knows that every time he sits, he's going to get something in return, and he can predict that. So he'll sit even before you even give him something, or even before you say something. With a wild animal, the moment you go from predictable, which is the way you condition wild animals, to unpredictable. Let's say, for instance, this is an example, right? Let's say you always give peanut butter, and then today you give apples because you have no peanut butter. You switch from predictable to unpredictable, and now the animal um, goes up in drives and desires, and they can get aggressive. And wild animals are wild, so they get aggressive. They get, you know, that's why the orca and SeaWorld attack the trainer, because the trainer sent the orca to go out and do another trick. And when he came back, there was no fish for the orca, and the orca got aggressive. So when I do use gifting, the giftings are inanimate objects, things that are not food based.
Hmm.
Um, Normally, they're like I said, marbles or quartz, which they give back as well. Where they find it, don't ask me, but they tend to give quartz and stones and shiny stones and whatnot.
I've heard that
Um,
before. I've heard that before. Al
yeah,
actually said that before, that they give with quartz and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tom mentioned that they gift him with like dead rabbits and dead deer and stuff like that, which, that that makes sense. Them being animals and all. So
Right. Sometimes, like I've had eyewitnesses that like for instance, you like chipmunks. You find them cute, and you're out in the woods, and you kind of like the chipmunk and whatnot. They'll
hmm.
have a chipmunk in front of your front door by the time you get back to your house.
Chipmunk, yeah.
You know, just
Or a
dead,
squirrel.
not right, not killed, not killed, not squashed or dismantled,
Right,
just
just
completely just there. You know,
right. Maybe a broken neck or something.
right,
Yeah,
right, right.
for you to eat,
Um,
and yeah. Hmm.
but cats do that too, though. although cats sometimes they bite the head off, but
Mm.
um, cats cats sometimes they hunt something and they'll leave it in the front, just the whole thing there.
Right, right. Hey,
Um,
I wanted to ask you real quick. I do want to make sure we don't go without me asking this question. Do you remember what was it, like a year and a half ago, when we first met, 2 years maybe? Do you remember we had a little discussion about cryptids? And do you remember you proved me wrong with your evidence and research? And I'm like, okay, all right, I respect that. I shut up after that. I was like, okay, all right, you got me, man. You got good evidence, so you know. Um, Remember the video that you showed me, that where there was a growl? You were out in the woods, right? You were recording. I think there was somebody else with you, because I heard some other voice that was walking alongside with you, and you heard a growl. You heard a growl, and it was like roar, like that. And I'm like, wow, dude, that's crazy. Have you ever? Well, I'm pretty sure you have, but do you have any new videos like that?
I got a whole bunch from eyewitnesses.
Because I know you do calls, right? When you go out there.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I do calls.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just I haven't, like that day that I think the one you heard, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Hmm.
Um, I got that's the one from Illinois. I got pushed out of an area, and I went back with my cell phone because I was upset because I went in there, I left everything in the car, and I'm like, this is complete BS. They're right here. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, and I went
Right.
back with my cell phone. I was I'm gonna use the word brave enough to go back after being pushed out, right? Um, and obviously one didn't like it, and it let out a huff growl back at me like, "Stupid, get out of here," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, if have I been growled at myself in different scenarios? Absolutely. Just probably earlier last year. I mean, there's been others, but even sooner. But um, we were going to go to an area to find out about uh, a case that happened out in Illinois, and
Mm-hmm.
I went into the woods. I followed a creek, and I let out a vocalization,
Mm-hmm.
and I got back. You ever heard of a lion doing a huff
Yeah, I have.
like that? I can't even do it now, but that thing let out this huff like a lion tiger. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and again, like a little kid that just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. I put my hands up like, okay. I turned around and I walked. I walked out, right. And as I
Mm-hmm.
walked out, the other two guys, one of them being the Cherokee, right, was at the pickup truck. And as I'm walking out, he looks at me, and the other guy looks at me. He goes, "He's right behind me."
Ooh.
And they literally heard him walking up the ridge to a higher point, but they didn't see him. But literally, I walked out and with my hands up, like he's right behind me, and they
Mm-hmm.
heard him.
Mm-hmm.
But that I've gotten again. I go in there, and because not I won't say understand what they're saying, but um, understand their vocalizations.
Mm-hmm.
Once I pick up something that seems similar, I'll do one out of my own with my own mouth that I've heard them do. And the ones that I'll do in reply will be something similar to the same scenario that I've done in other places. And sure enough, I'll get something back. I've gotten, like I said, I'm recording right now. I have multiple howls. I've shown Paul some of them when I saw him the other day. I got
Mm-hmm.
howls. I got growls. I got two eyewitnesses that recorded growls on the other side of the house. So on the
Mm-hmm.
outside of the house with an MP3 player, and that's the growl still goes through the house, and they can hear it. Um, uh, I got several different types. Um, but yeah, I got them.
Man, that's cool, dude. I haven't seen any more of your videos with the growls, especially since that one time that you sent me. I don't know if you've uploaded any on any of the groups or whatever, but I haven't seen any.
I'll uh, I'll I'll make sure to send you some afterwards.
Okay, dude. I don't know if it's my phone or what, but I'm tripping because on the group I was looking at the live and then like the quality on Facebook is like horrible right now, dude. On the video,
Uh huh.
jeez, horrible, dude. On Streamyard looks good, but on Facebook, the Facebook Live looks horrible, dude. It's like a 150 megapixel or something. I don't know. It's just crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
and
I
that's
don't know why
the problem.
Facebook is doing that, man. That's messed up.
You know what we were talking about the other day about the pictures, the picture qualities when people post pictures.
Yeah,
Same thing. It's just
yeah. They
it's
get distorted, right?
way too much.
Way too much. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on, but that looks horrible. I don't know if the people from the group are seeing that. Are y'all seeing that? Let me ask y'all if y'all are seeing that bad pixelation on the live on Facebook. Can one of y'all tell me if y'all are?
Mira, aquí está el dinero, faltan 20.
Yeah, Anthony Metcalf said it hasn't been that way the whole time. No, it wasn't at the very beginning. It was good, but right now the pixelation, like you can't even see me, dude. Almost like it's
Oh
bad, dude.
wow.
Like real bad. Ah, man, that kind of that kind of puts a dent in my. So you know what? It's like
It's
because
all good.
it's
It's all good though.
so bad, dude. It's really really bad. It's like maybe a 300 pixelation at most. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh wow.
But anyway, all
Uh,
right. Well, they're listening pretty good, so I think they
but
can
I've been
hear us.
out. I've,
Uh huh.
I've I've been out to different places lately, meeting up with eyewitnesses and
Right.
um, talking to them and helping others. I think
Mm-hmm.
the craziest place was the other day. We went on vacation and let's just say that right there was the craziest place I've ever have visited.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I the guy let me into uh, it's a campground type facility. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
say, you ever thought about having a town where Dogman walks the streets at nighttime?
Oh yes, dude. Tell us about that, man. I just
That
remembered,
was
but you told me the other. Oh man,
that
y'all
was
gotta hear
that
this. Yeah, yeah. Tell
that
us about that,
okay.
man. That one little town that you told me about.
So this is a little town
Where's
where where
uh huh.
where it's a community, right? It's a enclosed community. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people drive around there in golf carts.
Okay.
Um, and they have their own tennis courts and their own swimming pools in there. They even have their own water tank. You know, their own well. So it's a little community, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can't go in there unless somebody gives you a key to go in, or you buy property in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I walked in there around midnight, 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the eyewitness are talking and sharing pictures, and showing, comparing audio and whatnot. And we went walking. Now he tells me that Dogman walk around the area freely.
Right.
So he's telling me this, but I'm not, whatever. I'm not really putting much faith in that. People say that all the time.
Uh huh.
So we were sitting there, and I
But
began to
but
hear
let me ask you,
chatter.
this: is that like an RV park? Is that like a I don't know, very very small town community thing, or is
It's like
it like a
it's like a campground RV type place.
campground? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
People have cabins in there, but most of it are RVs. Um, but anyway, so he's telling me that they walk freely in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and I had began to hear their clicking and whatnot, and I saw one trying to sneak up behind an RV, but okay, whatever. I'm seeing shadows. I'm seeing fast moving shadows, right?
Uh huh.
So he says, "Well, you want to go walk around?" And I said, "Sure, let's go." So we're
Mm-hmm.
walking the streets.
Yeah.
Remember, we're walking the streets, and the street that we're on ends in a T, and there's some spotlights from some houses, but there's no like street lamps or nothing like that, right? So when you get to the T, it's all black because there's hardly anybody there, and the people that were there are sleeping. It is past midnight.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I hear click, 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 click. And I stopped and I looked at the eyewitness, right? And I'm like, are those nails clicking on concrete? He looked at me and goes, "Yep." And I'm like, "You got to be shitting me. That's right there." Like, "Yep." What? That's crazy. And again, he's walking in the guy's like driveway on the opposite side of his RV slash camp, cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he's right freaking there, like walking like if he didn't give a crap if I'm hearing him because he was loud as hell. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. So we started walking back, and we stopped, where we started off, and we're talking, and I'm facing the intersection, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, dude, a dog man comes out of the dark to start to walk towards the street we're standing on. I guess realizes that we're standing right in the middle of the road.
Uh-huh.
Stops, looks at us, turns around, goes back into the darkness, and goes back up the street.
Damn.
I am beside myself because in my lifetime, I mean, I've seen bold dogmen do some stuff, right?
Right.
And I always tell people, this is about put up lights, they'll go away, or do this and they'll leave. And I've always said this: if a dogman has a purpose to being in your property, nothing you do will make it go away, right? So, but besides that, to stand in a street and seeing what I'm seeing just blew my mind.
Yeah, dude.
And
Walking around freely.
And I'm looking at the dude's like, "You gotta be shitting me." And he looked at me with a grin and it's like, "You have to come back in wintertime." Like, what?
That's your worst.
It's like, dude, in wintertime, there's hardly anybody here. They jump off the RVs, off the rooftops, and they run around here like they own the place. I'm like, you kidding me? It's like, no, I'm serious.
Wow. That's crazy.
That place is just crazy.
Yeah. But you said that there's a certain time where people won't go out their house anymore, right? Or their cabins.
Past
midnight, they don't go out.
12:30, they don't go out.
Right.
They just don't. He tells me one day in wintertime, because there are some people there, very few, you can number them in your hands, that stay there year round. They ended up having an RV there, but then they made a cabin next to the RV. So they just stay there. They had one lady that heard something outside or whatever, and thought it was her husband. Opens the door, walks outside, and there's a Bigfoot right next to the car.
Damn.
Well, the lady obviously
tell us that
didn't scream. So yeah, this place, I'm trying to make plans, to go back sometime in fall or something when it gets a little more chillier. To span of to go in a couple of days in a row. But it's this place, I called it Dogmantopia.
Dogmantopia.
Yeah, because it's just I'm saying it and it just blows my mind.
I know. That's crazy.
And I was there, so nobody told me this. Like what I'm telling you is what I saw personally.
What was that you told me?
No, like I left there somewhere around 4:00 in the morning, and I got home, and in the morning we were supposed to leave because we were renting a cabin. Me and my family were on vacation, and my wife was trying to wake me up. I just got here at 4:00 in the morning. And I doing what? It's like, you do not want to know. It's like, this is the coolest place ever. It's like what did you see? It's like, no, it's not what I saw. It's how I saw it. It's like she's like, like, nah, never mind. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
But
what was that? What was that? What was that?
yeah.
That story you told me about that you were inside a house and you saw a dog man right outside the damn porch. You saw the silhouette. You saw him walk to the corner, and you could see him like from the side window or something. Like,
This
what
was
was that?
this
Do you
was.
remember that?
It's in the same campground.
Right. Right. Okay.
I
And you said you
saw
saw it from the inside. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there was I believe it was a video. I'm not sure,
Mm-hmm.
but you can see the silhouette of it, and then you can see it.
From the window, you can see the silhouette, right, with the light
Right,
reflecting his shadow.
right. Well, no,
Yeah.
on the camera,
Oh, on the
on
camera.
the
Okay.
cam,
Okay.
on the camera, and it
Uh huh.
peeked. It peeked, looked at the camera, and then went back. But you can still see the silhouette, the tail, the
Mm-hmm.
hocks,
Mm-hmm.
because it's in the light.
Okay.
It's just I don't know what in the world this place has. I guess they made the campground too damn close to some freaking
Hey,
dens or something.
what state is that, if you don't mind me asking?
I prefer not to say the state
No.
because of some situation. Uh,
Okay.
but I'll say it's in the Midwest. I'll just say that one.
Midwest. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
Um,
Cool.
but yeah, I hopefully, if I'm allowed to go back, which I'm pretty sure I am,
Uh huh.
I think that place will be the easiest place. And I repeat, although I can probably do it in other places, that place will be the easiest place to really get a thermal image on a dogman.
Yes. Yes, man. Like, you get the whole shape right in red thermal
The
image.
whole thing,
Man,
because the
that'd be
suckers
awesome.
walk the damn streets.
Yeah, exactly. If they walk the damn streets, you can get them, man. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
night vision too. Man,
yeah.
that is awesome, dude.
The
I'd
suck.
love to go there, man,
It,
but I'm pretty
it
sure it's
was
kind
just.
of hard to
I
get
mean,
in there. Yeah, right. You got to know somebody
well,
to take you
you
there.
know, the guy. Yeah, you can't just go in there. You got to know somebody
Right,
to go in there because
right.
they have to let you in. Um, the eyewitness I've known for years now.
Hey,
Uh,
Rick, do you
when he
have any
first saw
new?
one, he didn't know what he was seeing. He
Right.
went on social media, then left social media. But I followed.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have it? Do I have any what?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had any like pictures or new videos that you can add on my group or B's group or Tom's group. You know, we're all family, so I mean it's the same thing. But I'm just saying that you can post on there, bro. Do you have any of your
I have
recent
pictures, but
researches? Uh huh. Something that
yes,
won't expose you
I
too
have
much. You know what I
pictures.
mean? Mm-hmm.
But the thing is just like if I go to your house and you're an eyewitness,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I collect for you or in your property is I respect your property, so it ends up being yours.
Oh,
But
okay,
it's
okay.
still
Mm-hmm.
it's still I don't share them. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
were in front of me right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'd show you my phone. Go ahead, knock yourself out,
Right,
right?
but not
But
share it publicly.
but right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And trust me, I have two phones, and you'd literally knock yourself out. Um,
And I would love to go
um,
through your phone, bro. I know you
there,
gotta have a lot of shit in there, man. I know you do.
there, there's one photo that I got that you can
Mm-hmm.
see the scar on the tricep of the arm. I mean, it's It's probably one of the
Wow.
most clearest pictures that you'll ever see. Um,
So the
and
whole arm comes out in the picture like that, like the whole
well,
arm.
I have the whole body
Oh, oh, okay,
from the knee up, uh,
okay.
but you can see
You zoomed
the
in
scar
on the arm.
on the
Uh huh.
arm on the tricep because it was in a fight before the picture was taken.
Y así con
I think that
plátano.
was the only reason
Right.
the picture was actually taken because it wasn't paying attention to its surrounding
Mm-hmm.
because it was just in a fight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but again, I don't. Those are not. If you were in front of me, like I said, I'd go, knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
Um,
And I need to come. I mean, I need to come
but
over
they're
here. I
out
need to go over there in
there.
person
They're
and see
out
you,
there.
bro.
Pictures are out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
Pictures are
see you
out
in
there.
person, bro.
Hey, whenever you want to go out, you just let me know. Um, but yeah, pictures are out there. It's just you know you can't go about it like if you're gonna go take a picture of a lion or a tiger
Right.
or a bear in the woods. These guys are way
Right.
too smart for that crap.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get in there, they already know you're in there.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right. Hey,
but they're
do
out
you
there.
guys in the chat have any questions for Rick? Maybe Richard, Al. I know he just left. He was said he was calling in at night. Tom, Anthony. I think Lee left too. And whoever's watching, because I know I see 5 people watching. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them now because we're not going to be on here too much longer. So go ahead and ask your questions, guys, because me and Rick are just going to keep talking. But if y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, Rick. Yeah, man.
All right.
So you know what? I would love to go over there and see you, man, because I know I can trust you that you know the woods enough to where you know what's going on at all times. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right,
I trust that if you feel any type of danger or anything, you're gonna let me know, and you're gonna say, "Well, you want to leave because this is gonna get pretty heavy." And which I'll probably say yes. But if it's and I'm pretty sure you're gonna say, but you want to stay, we can stay, but just don't get your socks knocked off, from what you hear. but
right, right,
um,
right.
but yeah, man, because man, and I've always told everybody that I know that when I talk about you, I say, man, that dude's fucking crazy, dude. He's got balls of steel, man. He's out there recording them motherfuckers. He's out there getting growls, and he don't go to his car or truck, or he just stays there, and he's just like, you see, there it is. Let's go investigate it even more. Like damn. And you got videos of that. I've seen them, and some people know your work, like B and Chris. They know your work, so they're like, yeah, man, that guy really knows what he's talking about, and he really does do the research, and he has the evidence to back it up. And I remember you telling me some people have called you out like, oh, no, that's bullshit, whatever, and you're like, okay, you think it's bullshit? Come out here whenever you want. Big names too. Come out here whenever you want. I'll take you out to where I've seen whatever I've seen and heard, and I'll be glad to take you out there on a little tour. And they've never accepted your offer, right?
Nope. Okay, not one person, and some of these people are big names,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are bigger names than what people think. I have offered to take them out into the field. Some of these people, well, all of these people have, well, some, I'll say some,
Mm-hmm.
have never seen a cryptid, and they want to see a cryptid because it's not that they want to see a cryptid. They don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that a person can have multiple encounters. And not one of these people, not one, has
Mm-hmm.
ever taken me up on it.
Right.
There was one. There was even one individual not too long ago that said, "Well, I'll give you an area." Now he said this, not to me, but just in general. I'll give you an area, you go, but all the research that you do there, um,
Mm-hmm.
belongs to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
I commented, let me know where it's at. I have a team to go.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that reply.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and some people might call me cocky, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you're telling me no, and I'm telling you, well, I'll go to your place and show you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't you want to prove yourself right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've never seen your cryptid, and I say, well, I'll go to you and I'll show you one. If you don't believe in Dogman, because some people right now, it's so stupid. They believe in Bigfoot, these big time researchers in Bigfoot, but some of them don't believe in Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you believe in Bigfoot, but you don't
Yes.
believe in Dogman.
Exactly. And you know what? That trips me out, bro. Because how you gonna believe in one cryptid and you're not gonna believe the rest? Like that's ironic, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's ironic. To me, that's ironic because if you believe in one, you should be able to believe in the rest. You know what I mean? Maybe kind of iffy or whatever, but you'd be like, okay, yeah, there could be a possibility that it's there. I've never seen one,
Right,
but there could be a possibility that it's there. I'm more of a Bigfoot guy, but I'm not going to discard completely Dogman. You know what I mean?
right,
That's
right,
what I would say. But
right, right,
there's people that did just block it all out. Like, no, there's no such thing as that, and ha ha ha, or why
right.
you talking about this, shit or whatever.
And then
Like what the
and,
hell?
and, and then you offer to show them one, and they
Uh
say
huh.
no.
Right.
Like, so what?
Exactly.
Give
So
just
they're
shut
just
up then.
yeah, exactly. They're just denying it without even doing the research or anything, or
Right,
saying, hey, what if it does? What if it is real? You know what I mean?
right, right, right. Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad because if Dogman would get the traction from
Mm-hmm.
some individuals, right? They would be more awareness to them than what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think awareness is a key to some eyewitnesses, because it's just the way social media portrays them is not the reality of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Dogman can be dangerous. I've known cases where dogmen have killed people, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the people that they have killed are not an innocent bystander.
Mm-hmm.
There are bad people. There are people who have done wrong. Okay, and they've gotten in the wrong place at the wrong time, and well, too bad. But the traction that we have right now with social media is that they're evil, that they want to torment you,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
they do things because they want to.
Right.
In none of my cases that I've worked with eyewitnesses, from California to European countries, and there's
Mm-hmm.
everything in between. Not one of those cases has a dogman ever bothered a household if it wasn't for that reason. I mean, if it wasn't for a reason, and once you fix the reason, they go back into the woods and and they stop bothering you.
Right. Hey, I got a question from Richard. No, I'm sorry, it's not Richard. It's Anthony Metcalf. I got a good question from Anthony. He says, after nightfall, if you have DM activity outside your house, is it better to ignore them or what?
I would ignore it, acknowledge them, and ignore them.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what I mean by acknowledge them is
Mm-hmm.
let them know that you know they're there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But let them be.
Right. That you're not messing with them.
Right.
That way they won't see you
You know.
as a threat. They know that you know they're there, but you're not a threat to them, right?
Right. And then just
Yeah.
make sure you don't leave food outside.
Don't leave food outside.
Do not leave food outside.
Oh shit! What do you mean, like dogs? Because
Well,
that's
no,
food for them. It is.
people sometimes have left, dog food outside by accident, their own dog food
Right.
outside, and they get used to eating from what you leave outside. Then
Mm-hmm.
they don't go nowhere. They keep, I'm gonna say, bothering you because once you stop putting the food out, well,
Yeah,
they
they're
want
gonna.
food.
Yeah, they're gonna be bothered. Yeah, they get
So
used
just
to it.
make sure
Yeah,
your yard is clean.
yeah.
Make sure there's 1,000 reasons why they would stick around.
Right,
Each case
right.
is each case is different.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is, for anybody who has a problem with a dog, man, to contact me, and I can ask and get to the bottom of for why they're there,
Mm-hmm.
and get the solution. But there's no black and white. There's no, well, if they're there, just do this. If they're that dude, you just do that. No, each
You gotta
person is
actually.
different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Each case that I've worked,
Right,
there's a different solution, even though the situation might seem the same.
right. Okay. Hey, I got another question from Anthony. He says, "Has he heard of DM activity in South Mississippi?"
Yes,
Okay. Can you tell
I,
us like
I've actually
what?
I've actually seen one.
What? Really?
Yeah, I went to pick up. This was funny. I went to pick up a pup. Well, not a pup, 5 pups from a breeder. Now the
Mm-hmm.
breeder lives in South Mississippi, South
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi, and
Mm-hmm.
he lives out in the boonies, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
go through a dirt road and whatnot, and to get to him. I
Mm-hmm.
always lose signal once I get there. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I get there and I hear what somebody would say coyote yaps and howls. For
Mm-hmm.
those that have been out enough with Dogman, will quickly understand that they're not coyotes. But anything, I'm just listening around. Okay, cool. I know what that is. I'm not paying attention. I'm not there for Dogman. I'm there to pick up the dogs, the pups.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a high powered flashlight, and since it's in the middle of nowhere, there's no street lamps, so I have my flashlight to show me the crates, to show me the dogs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And the eyewitness is looking at me, and I'm flashing towards past him, but towards the floor, but past him. And this dog man, clear as day on the flashlight, comes out of the bushes, like stands up, looks at me, looks at him, looks at me, goes right back down, and walks away on all four.
Damn.
I don't do nothing, right? I don't want to spook out the eyewitness,
Mm-hmm.
the landowner. So I
Mm-hmm.
nonchalantly asked the landowner, "Hey, do you have things walking around here?" Like, what do you mean? No, I mean like you don't hear things around at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
No owls. Oh, you don't have, because I just saw two eye shine over there and just asked her. The dude was like completely oblivious, right?
So what was going
And
on? And
what was going on? And the thing was like on my flashlight, the reflection, because it's 1,700 lumen
mm-hmm.
flashlight. So it even though it's pointed to the ground, it lights up
Mm-hmm.
and it's clear as day. It's right there. It picked up, looked at us, looked at him, looked at me, and went back down and continued his way. I'm like, oh, you bloody hell, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, I've personally seen them in South Mississippi.
South Mississippi. Yeah. Anthony was saying that he's from Gautier, Mississippi. It's right by Biloxi. Biloxi,
Oh,
Mississippi. And
correct.
he's got another question. He said, "Would a dog man cross a body of water with alligator or crocodiles in it, etc.?" That's a good question, man. What would you think on that? What would you comment on that?
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, a dogman can jump pretty far.
Right.
So unless the body of water is 100 feet,
Well, I have heard of encounters where dogmen jump in the water and start swimming towards the boat of the
yeah,
encounteree. So,
right. What I'm saying is, I guess that if there were alligators in the water, right,
well, yeah,
and
obviously there's
and
got to be
and, and
alligators.
from shoreline to shoreline wasn't that far, he'd probably
Hmm.
just jump it to avoid the alligators.
Right. But
But
I think
if
they'll
the
jump in the water, but not for long periods of time. I think they'll jump in the water for like maybe 1 minute tops, and that's it. They'll get out. I don't think they're gonna just sit there and try to be alligator, food. Because
no no
alligators, maybe he can wrestle one alligator, but not five alligators. You see what I'm saying? So
right
if it's infested with alligators, then he's not gonna have a chance against 5 or 6 alligators. That's just my
no.
take on that. But
Well,
it's just
it's just common sense too, you know.
hmm
But I don't know. It's just, I never had that question asked before.
yeah. There's another question from Anthony. He's got good questions tonight, man. He says his classic question. Do you think DM have binocular vision, like like real zoomed in vision, like far away vision? You know how like
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to think here. Trying to think
well, you know what?
of
I've never heard of any animal having that like binocular vision. I've never heard that. Oh,
well,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no.
The eagles, eagles do.
Eagles
Yeah,
have binocular vision.
yes, they do. Hmm.
And there is an aborigine
Hmm.
man, an Aboriginal man that was
Hmm.
found to have the same vision. I think it was 2010 or something, 25.
Hmm.
That's the same as an eagle. So a human being had that type of vision. Um,
Wow, never heard of that. Must
now,
have been like a
yeah,
very
if you
rare
look it up,
case. Yeah.
yeah. If you look it up, you'll find it.
Hmm.
Um, but
Aborigines. Yeah.
I'm gonna assume it's an assumption.
Hmm.
Um, that Dogman can probably see further a lot better than your typical dog. Um,
Hmm.
but they are more in tune with movement. They're like
Hmm.
cats,
Hmm.
you know. If it moves a lot,
Right.
so I don't know how good their eyesight really is,
Hmm.
um, because
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on this right here? Being that Dogman is pretty much like a super soldier hybrid between a dog and a man, or a wolf and a man. I don't like the word Dogman. Should have been Wolfman. But anyway, um, they can you know how far they can jump, like 25, 30 yards in one leap, and how high they can jump. They can jump up on a 1-story house, no problem. Like 10, 12 feet, no problem. They'll jump up on
right,
there on one leap. Um, and they can run really fast. Up to it's been said up to 70 miles an hour, which I'm thinking more like 60. But their top speed. But those are like super speeds. Those are super high jumps. Those are super long jumps. You know what I mean? That's not a regular canine jump. You know what I'm saying? So being that, maybe they have, amplified eyesight and hearing. That's why they can hear you way before you can hear them. See what I'm saying?
Right.
But what do you know about that, or what have you gathered about that? You know what I mean, or what
Well,
have you heard about that?
what I can tell you is that
Hmm.
their hearing,
Right.
and their smell is extremely good.
Okay. So it has to
I
be
mean,
better than a regular canine,
oh yeah,
right? Yeah.
um, yes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
hell, even a normal wolf, hearing and smell is better than your normal canine.
Right.
Um,
Right. Hmm.
you know, with their vision, like I said, the only thing that I've seen is that they're more focused on movement,
Hmm.
rather than on something still.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Um,
they're more sensitive to movement.
right.
Okay. Okay. All right. I got you. I got you. Hey, I got another great question from Anthony Metcalf. But before that, I wanted to ask you. Shit, I forgot. I forgot what I was going to ask you because he has such a good question. It's my classic question that I ask all my guests on what they think about the Gable film. I'm gonna let you answer that while I try to remember what I was gonna ask. What do you think about the Gable
um,
film, bro?
I don't think the Gable film is a Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the reason I don't think it's a Dogman for me is simple.
Mm-hmm.
Dogman tend to have longer arms than hind legs.
Right.
In the Gable film, if you look at the Gable film,
Mm-hmm.
his front legs, let's put it that way, right,
Uh huh.
are extremely shorter than his hind legs,
Okay. So that makes it out to
making
be
the
more of a
making
human.
the proportion right,
Uh huh.
making the proportion not dogmanish, if you want to put it that way,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So it looks more like a man in which his hind legs are larger, longer than his front arms, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's his butt is in the air, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a dog man tends, like I said, tends to have longer arms or well proportioned, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you've never heard you've never heard an eyewitness say, right, that it saw a, most eyewitnesses will tell you that it thought it was a wolf
Mm-hmm.
or it ran like a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you notice how a gorilla runs, the proportions, right? The gorilla
Mm-hmm.
has longer arms than it does
Longer front
his rear
arms.
end.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
And
if
they
you look
run
at the
on all
gate,
fours. They kind of knuckle their way around.
right.
Uh huh.
The Gable film is backwards.
Uh huh.
He's leaning forward. His butt is in the air because his arms are shorter than his rear end.
Right. 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 Right.
So because of that alone, besides the fact that the guy said it, blah blah blah, regardless if it's true or not, but that little point in itself, for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a dog man. The minute I
Mm-hmm.
see it, I don't see a dog man.
Mm-hmm.
All I see is a human.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You know,
Yeah. Yep.
you know.
Um. Yeah. Who said? Oh, he said like a hyena. Yeah. Yeah, like a hyena. Yeah, the hyenas have their front legs longer for some weird reason,
Right.
right?
Right. Their backs are sloped down. Right. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but if you look at the Gable film, look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaning forward. His butt is in the air because his arms are shorter than his rear legs.
Yeah, yeah, that
You know,
is true. That is true.
so that to
But
me right there tells me, besides of what I've seen, that's not a
hmm
dogman game.
right,
That's just me
right.
though.
No, yeah, thank you. I mean, I ask everyone that question, every one of my guests that same question, and they have different opinions about it. So, and like I always say, and I've told you, and I tell all my listeners, and I tell all my group members and my fellow cryptid friends that we should all respect each other's opinions. Like we don't have to always agree. We can agree on
Right,
to
right,
disagree. You know what I'm saying? You
right,
have
right,
yours. You have your point of view. I have mine. I don't agree with yours, but I'm not gonna try to bash you on what you think. I'll respect it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way everybody
right,
should be in this field, in this cryptid field, bro. You know what I mean?
right, right,
Because a lot of times people just they want to make you believe what they believe, and if you don't, then you're an idiot, you're stupid, you don't know nothing. You know what I mean? And that's just wrong. That's just stupid, bro.
right, right.
We should
Hey,
all be adults and respect each other's opinions and and
hey, even
insights.
even 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 with the guys that I go out with,
hmm
not all of us have the same opinions,
Right,
but we're still going out there researching.
right, exactly. Yeah, that's
You know,
that's it, bro.
it's,
That's
it's
it.
just
I
it's just
mean, you don't have to be 100%, in accordance with, your friends or the people around your cryptid buddies or whatever, or
right,
even another podcaster. You don't have to be 100%, uh, in accordance with them. You can have your own point of views or your own thoughts or your own opinions or your own whatever, and they can have theirs, and y'all can chit chat back and forth. Say, nah, I don't think this, and but that's cool. If you want to think that or that's what you think, I respect it. It's cool. You know,
right,
not gonna
right,
make you
right,
change what you think or whatever, but I respect yours, you respect mine, and that's it, bro. You know,
right.
move on,
That's
move
how
on
it does.
without you with your day. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man.
And
And
and and, and,
that's how. That's
and like
actually how. That's actually how me and you became friends, if you remember, because you had a different point of view than I did. But I'm like, okay, bro, I respect that. That's cool. All right, you think that way, I think my way. That's cool. I respect your opinion, you respect mine, and we're good. You said, yeah,
right,
absolutely,
right.
man, no problem. So I think that's the best way for people to
It's true
deal.
though.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It is. It is. It is. Especially with in the community, you have to be able, um,
hmm
how would I say it, to keep the peace, to be able to continue to grow within your groups. Like for
hmm
instance, like I mentioned before, a lot of times we go out with four guys,
hmm
3, 4 guys. Not all of us think the same. Not all of us have the same opinions,
Right.
right?
hmm
But you don't see us arguing. You don't see us, you know,
Becoming
uh,
enemies.
bashing each other or becoming
Yeah.
enemies. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
Each one has their thought, but at the end of the day, we get the job done.
hmm
And I think and
Right.
I think that's the most important thing is getting the job
Yes.
done. Is we're
Yes.
going out there. You might think this, you might think that, I might think this, but we're
hmm
all getting out there to get the job done.
Exactly. Very well said. Very well said, Ricky. Let me ask you, what would you tell all the people out there, because a lot of people are going to see this video on YouTube. Maybe not here on Facebook right now as a live, because maybe 10 people might join or whatever. But on Facebook, there's a lot bigger platform, and there's a lot more people that are going to see this. Even people that are not, because see, people on Facebook watching this live, they have to be in the group to watch it. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people out there that are not in the
Right,
groups,
right,
and
right.
they will see it on YouTube. So I wanted to ask you, what would you say to those people that you consider like what they call haters? I hate to use the word, but like haters. What message would you give them about yourself? What that they don't know you and they like to criticize you and they like to say, oh yeah, that guy's crazy, that guy's controversial, that guy's this and that, whatever, because they heard it from other people. Instead of investigating themselves and say, hey man, I want to let me find out how this guy is, myself. I'm not gonna go with what people tell me. I'm gonna go with what you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What would your message be to them, man?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Don't look at the he said, she said.
Mhm.
Look at the work at hand. Look at the evidence, the
Mhm.
research at hand.
Mhm.
Like for instance, some people will talk junk because I supposedly give advice and to people and tell them how to fix their problems in their homes.
Mhm.
You know, well, don't look at the fact that because some people will come out and say the haters will say there is no experts, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and even though that's true, look at the evidence. Look at the amount of people that have been helped,
Mhm.
right? So don't look at what don't pay attention to what people say. Pay attention to what is being done. I guess
Right.
is how I would put it.
And look into it yourself. Don't just go by what people tell you about a certain person. Look
Right.
into it
It's
yourself. Talk to that person yourself, right? If you have
right.
any doubts about them,
Exactly.
or if you had any, you
Ask
know.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, many people, very few people in the community, very few people in the
Pásame las
community
servilletas, por favor.
have have um have reached out to me and asked questions. The
Mm-hmm.
people that have, for the most part, reached out to me are eyewitnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And some eyewitnesses are kind of eerie, iffy about asking me stuff. And when they start asking me, the reason they get, I'm gonna use the word hooked. And what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is because I'm literally telling them what's happening in their house without
Mm-hmm.
me ever visiting their house.
Okay.
So once they
Just
realize,
by.
well, wait a minute, how
Mm-hmm.
does he know that's what's going on? He must know something,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they kind of lower their guard and listen and realize and apply and get
Mm-hmm.
and get their situation under control. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, don't listen to what people say. I'm mostly an open book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've stopped being that much of an open book to some individuals or in some situations because some people, even the community, like to do the he said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a problem and they'll say, well, Ricky said to do this. No, 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 no. Ricky told that person to do this.
Not for
And there's two
everybody,
different
right?
things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right. Because, but it's just that. It's like you're saying, ask questions. Don't listen to people. Come to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the source. Ask me questions. Find out why I say something. Find out what I'm thinking. Find out, why I do certain things. And be willing to hear me out. There
Right.
isn't a black and white answer to things.
Right.
So if you wanted to talk to me, but you want a yes or no, a up or down,
Mm-hmm.
well, you get disappointed because there's no such thing, especially with
Right.
a cryptid that we know little about. You know, um, but
I
it's
got
just that,
I got one
and I agree
last
with what you're saying.
question.
And the people that have,
Uh huh.
go ahead, go ahead.
I got one last question. It's from Anthony. It says, how would he approach a non-believer on the topic of Dogman, trying to educate them and open their eyes? How would you approach that? That's a damn good question, man. Because if you
Well,
can't get a Bigfoot believer to believe in Dogman, how you gonna get a non-believer to believe in Dogman, man? That's hard, dude.
well,
I can't
well.
imagine that. I mean, I wouldn't even try it, honestly. Me personally, I wouldn't try it. I
To
wouldn't waste
some,
my
to
time,
some,
bro. Hell no.
to some, I've just shown them my phone, right? To
Yeah.
some, I've just shown them my phone.
Uh huh.
And some of them will acknowledge that there's something out there. Like my wife.
Mhm.
My wife started listening to what I'm telling her, but at no point in time did she believe there was dogmen out on the property.
Mhm.
When she began to see my phone and see pictures,
Mhm.
then she became more of a
Right.
believer.
Right. Right. Right.
There
Right.
have been,
Right.
there have been people, there have been people, including the Indian guy, who his daughter saw one, right? But he's never seen one, so he has doubts if what she saw was what it was. I took him out into the field and I showed him one.
Mhm.
There has been people that I've taken out in the field and I have shown them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so once they see, they have no other option but to believe.
Right. Exactly. That's the hard way. That's
You know,
finding out the hard way in person.
but
Yeah.
some of the critics, hardcore critics,
Mhm.
and experts in the field, as they
Oh
call
yeah,
themselves.
they'll swear up and down that it doesn't exist, but they won't not go out there in the field with you.
No, those guys have never gone out,
Right, and I know a
and
couple. I don't
have
want to
and
name. Uh huh.
I've offered, I've even offered my expense to get to their state.
Wow.
Okay,
Hmm.
nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. Um, shoot, but
Damn,
it's
that's
just,
crazy,
but
dude.
I have, but I have shown some. I have shown your typical person who says, "Well, you don't believe? Okay, come with me."
Uh huh.
And I'll call them in, and even if they were not to be able to see one, like, the whole silhouette and the whole dogman, by the time
Hmm.
they leave that night, they will know that there's something in the woods.
I would
You
love
know,
to go out there one day with you,
like one
Rick.
guy.
I would love to go out there with you, man. I said it with who was it? With Chris or Paul or somebody. I said, man, I would love to go out there with Rick, man. I know he's got some shit there where he can find them quick. As much as you've been exploring it. Hey, okay, this is what I was. This was my question. I just remembered. People have compared that the growl of a dog man sounds similar to the growl of a lion, bro. Like deep, big, deep lungs. You know what I'm saying? And I watch a lot of videos. I've said this before on some of my other shows. I've watched a lot of videos of lions held captive in Africa, Zimbabwe being one of them, and a couple more where they feed them right, and they got the lions like way in the back or whatever, and they got
Uh-huh.
this fence right, well, right by the road. They got this fence, and they're filming them right there, right, and they call them. They kind of they signal the other guy to let them out or whatever, and they got like parts of dead animals there, like zebras or whatever, big old chunks, or guts, all these guts that they put up because lions love guts for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah, like guts full of shit, like animal shit. Why would you go crazy over that? But anyway, they do, and And when they get there, they come running, right? They signal them, they come running. And as soon as they get there, dude, they start growling at each other like, "This is mine!" Like, "Roar, roar, this is mine! Move!" Like that, dude. And their growls sound so like, dude, impressive, man. Like, if like you're right there by that fence, but man, if that fence wasn't there, dude, you'd be lying food, man. It's crazy, dude. The way they, like real deep. I can't even do it. That's how deep they do it, man.
Let me
Like
see. Let me see. I'm gonna do this.
it sounds like
Hold on.
it sounds like it's okay. Go ahead. You know what it sounds like? Sounds like a damn Harley Davidson, dude. Like that. Like gluk 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 gluk. Like guttural growl, bro. Like gluk 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 gluk.
Oh.
Did you just do it right now? Do you have a recording or what?
Yeah, I'm trying to send you. I'm trying to. My tablet. My tablet is acting up. Hold on.
Okay, okay. Because I heard something there. I Rich said I don't want to find them. Guys, pudding guts equals pudding.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
They go crazy over guts, bro. It's just crazy, crazy. Like like they try to fight each other almost for freaking guts, guts and liver and heart and all that. Like, ugh. Like they don't. Let me know when you're ready. Whenever you're gonna play it, that way I won't talk over you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay. That way I don't know how they, man, dude, how they love that shit, but their growls are so guttural, bro. It sounds like gluk, 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 like that, dude. Like, oh damn. Imagine being next to that. And then they even bluff charge the people that are recording. Oh, you heard that one, Rich? Yeah, I like watching those videos, dude, where they record them because you see them like right there, dude, like 2, 3 feet in front of you, like that close, and it's crazy. And you think about it and be like, damn, could a Dogman guttural growl be like that, similar to that? Because they're about the same size. Think about it. How big is a lion standing up? About 7 foot. You know what I'm saying? If it stands up, it's about 7 foot. So that's about the same range, body range of a dog man, bro. So they have to have huge lungs, just like the lions, to have a guttural growl. You know what I mean? Just like dogs like cat shit. Oh yeah, that's nasty. Dogs like cat shit. But I've heard Anthony. Yeah, Anthony, you said just like dogs like cat shit. I heard that dogs actually smell the food within the cat shit, bro. That's why they like eating it. They can still smell the food because the cats don't fully dissolve the food. That's what I've heard. So they can smell the food. They can smell the protein in it or whatever, and that's why they eat. That's why they eat. Cat shit. That's nasty, but I've seen them do that. Yeah, Rich. Rich said it hits your chest. Yeah, dude. It's crazy, man. When you hear those guttural growls from the lions, uh, whoever's on here listening, man, check it out. YouTube it. Lion feeding in Africa or Zimbabwe or whatever uh, state or country, whatever. Check it out on YouTube and you will hear that, man. It's like crazy. I
Check,
love
man.
the sound effect. Okay, you back? You got it?
It's on your. It's on your messenger.
It's on my messenger? Okay, okay. All right.
Check your messenger.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on.
Check it. Check it.
All right. Let me check it real quick. Ricardo Sanchez. Okay. I wonder. Well, it is. Yeah, my mic is right here, so yeah, they will be able to hear it. Let me play it. Hold on. There it is. Oh shit! Was that an echoing roar or what, bro?
That's that's an actual. That's a Dogman roar. Roar
Really?
slash growl.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you can hear it go like, "Roar, roar," and at
Mhm.
the end is a long one. It goes, "Roar," but it sounds like kind of like far away, kind of like. Listen, guys. There it is again. Wait for the last one. Y'all heard that last one? Damn, that shit was cool, man. I seen that. that was awesome, bro.
And
That was
that's
awesome.
that's that's
It's on my messenger.
although
Oh,
the
okay, okay. All right. It's a lot of. It's a lot of. Check it. All right. Damn.
you're getting feedback now.
That was awesome. Yeah, I'm getting feedback now. Oh, okay, okay. I think it's because of the volume. Okay. All right. Y'all hear me good now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. 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 Yeah, Rich just said,
On
"Damn, bro. Yeah, those are three
on
howls.
the
The last one was the loudest one."
on on the guys listening probably couldn't hear it as well as
Mm-hmm.
you can, you
Right.
being next to your phone. That was
Right.
recorded with an MP3 player inside the
Mm.
house.
Okay. That was from the inside the house.
Yes.
Damn.
So that's how
Damn.
loud.
That's how loud it was.
Hmm.
Wow, you weren't even outside, like not even by the door or by the window or nothing.
No, no, that was inside. That
I
was
was inside the
that was
house.
inside.
Damn. Okay. Hey, what do you
That's what.
mhm.
Uh,
What do you
that
think if I would like upload it to my group? Could you hear it better? You think or no?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, would you mind if I upload it to my group?
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That way they can get a better listen. You know what I mean? Because like you said, and Anthony did say also, it sounds kind of distorted because they can't hear it as
Yeah.
good as I can. You know, from the phone or whatever. Yeah. 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 Hell yeah, man. I'm gonna post that on there, and that way we can listen to it better. I'll put my earphones on for that too. That sounds awesome, dude. You can tell that it's got that hollow roar sound to it, bro. Like you know that
Yeah.
how they do. You know what I mean? I've heard them.
Uh,
I've heard a lot of them, and yeah. Rich said, "Heck yeah." No, that's Anthony said, "Heck yeah," and Rich is like, "Hell yeah," like with the with the OK sign. Yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it on the group, Rich. That way you can listen to it, man. Put your earphones on. It sounds
that
badass.
that was from Dogmantopia.
Oh, really? That's where it's
Yes.
from? Woo,
Yeah.
man. And you got that from the inside of the cabin?
Well,
Shit.
the yeah, that's the eyewitness
Yeah.
was well, there's a whole
Damn.
there's a whole shenanigans to that one, but
Oh. So basically, he had a charming moment.
yeah, basically,
Kind
kind of,
of.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh damn, that's crazy. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on tonight,
Yeah,
Ricky.
it's
Man,
been nice.
yeah, it was great, bro. It was great having you, man. A lot of good information, and like this here video where you have the roar. I remember the one you sent me. It was a growl. It was a growl. It was like a roar, like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you stopped, and you're like, oh shit. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? And you're like, do it again, do it again. You're telling the thing to do it again. Like, this motherfucker crazy, dude. I'm like, what? And like, man,
Well,
that shit is crazy.
because after it's like I had a point in time where I got
Uh huh.
surrounded,
Oh,
and I had that flight or flight,
yeah,
the feeling
yeah.
of dread
Fight or
that you're
flight,
gonna
yeah.
die.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to, because my family was inside. I had my wife inside, my
Mm
son who was like a year and something years old.
hmm.
A
Mm
lot of things went through your mind, and from that point on, when you're in that moment and you have to decide whether you crumble in fear,
hmm. Mm
like
hmm.
your heart's racing, you just want to like just cry because
Yeah,
you literally are feeling like dread, right? Like you're gonna die.
yeah.
That's it.
Yes,
You're
yes,
gonna
yes, yes.
die.
Yes,
Um,
and mm-hmm.
but once you realize, well, wait a minute, rather I crumble under pressure and fear, or I stand up and let them choose me instead of trying to go towards the door and into the house. And dude, once I don't know, something clicked inside of me, and I went from flight to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, from that point forward, like I go out in the field, and yes, I'm not going to tell you that I'm not scared, right, or that I don't have goosebumps, because that
Right.
I'd be lying if I told you that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I go out, and it's like, what? Yeah, I heard you. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you'll hear, you know, you'll hear me say stuff like that in the field.
yeah, yeah.
Like yeah, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
or, but it's
Well, I
because
remember that. I
it's
remember that video. Like, do it again, do it again. Like you're talking to the whatever was there. Like, do it again. Can you do it again? I'm like, just talking to him. I'm like, man, that's crazy, dude. I was like, man, I would have been truth. I would have been gone. I would have ran out to the
there were
car,
two
bro.
of them. There were two of them that
Yeah.
came because I was walking looking for tracks, and I looked up, and this thing
Uh
just
huh.
picked out his head through the tall grass, looked at me, right, and then just went right back inside really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my heart went up, and I'm like, Dave, which is the Native American.
Uh
Dave,
huh.
behind me. There's something behind me. Where? Just check behind me. And he
Mhm.
checked, and all of a sudden he goes, he's right there. He's right there. And I looked, and I looked behind, and I see him pointing with his walking stick. And these guys began going semicircles, left and right, doing these popping sounds and these vocalizations, left and right. And Dave goes and says, I think you better get out of there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll get out. So I started getting out, and I'm looking at him like, no, what the hell?
Mhm.
I'm going back. I want to record something. Something got to come up
Something got to come up. Yeah.
right on my
Yeah.
phone. Then I'm
Uh huh.
walking back out, and they got all quiet. And I'm
Uh
like,
huh.
what? Come on, dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm getting upset because now they're quiet.
Yeah.
Like I, I remember, I remember I said once like get your ass out of here. What the hell? You know? And I,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden that growl huff come out.
Mhm.
Um, he lets out this huff growl,
Mhm.
clear as day.
Mhm.
Dave goes and says, "There you go." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but in my mind it's like, no, I want more. What the hell? you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like everything got quiet after that, and
You know what it sounded like? Like those camel huffs that Well, we don't have no camels in the U.S., so I know it's not a damn camel, but it sounded like that. You know how when you piss them off or whatever camels,
right,
how
right,
they go like like
right.
that, like they kind of
Yep.
huff and growl at the same time.
Yep.
like that. I was
That's
like,
exactly how it
damn,
started.
this is crazy. Yeah, I remember that, man. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, what the hell?
But I
I
was so
was like,
mad,
man.
man. I'm like, you damn shitheads, you know. And then no, and then I'm walking out, and I'm just going off on Dave, because I'm like, damn it, I didn't bring shit to this field. Everything in the damn car, And I'm like, but then, man, it was just a funny day because Dave was laughing, and
Mhm.
I'm mad, I'm just going all over the place because I'm upset because I had recorders, I had everything was in the
¿Ya
car,
vas a terminar?
Yeah,
Ya me voy a ir a acostar.
you know,
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
and it was just I didn't think about it. I just wanted to go get to see if there was tracks, and there you go. I'm like, you son of a darn it! But I was like, get your ass back out of here.
I
uh,
know, dude. I know. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you talk to him like, hey, come back out here like that. I like, dude, that's like crazy, bro. I'd probably run out to the car if I was with you out there, man. I'm like, no, no. That's
where's
crazy, bro.
Carlito?
Yeah, he's gone.
What's
He's in the
Carlito? I
car.
don't know. He's not there.
Yeah. He's in the
Shoot.
car with the door locked.
Oh man.
Yeah, bro.
But
But anyway, yeah, man. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for being here tonight, Rick. I
thank
think
you, bud.
we're gonna call it a night, man. It's been over a little bit over 2 hours, more like 2.5, 2.5 hours. But it was great, man. It was a great interview, and the guys are agreeing with it. Richard Brown and Anthony Metcalf, they stayed till the end, and they're like, "Yeah, great show, man." I told them, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah. Thank you again, brother. Thank you again for coming tonight, and telling us a little bit about your your experiences and your researches, your evidence that you've gathered, you know, videos and growls and howls and all that good stuff, man. Thank you very much for coming by, bro. And I know you
You're
really
welcome, man.
don't. I know you really don't do too many interviews, so this was kind of like special for me because I know that you're really not into doing interviews. So I want to thank you for that, bro. And if you ever do decide to do another interview and you would allow me to interview you again, that would be
You're welcome,
awesome.
bud.
If not, I understand, bro. I understand completely. Okay. So I know how this community thing, is kind of going to shit right now. But thank you again for being here tonight, bro. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay, man. Thank you.
All
And
right.
yeah. Any last words? Closing comments you wanna put out there, Rick, before we leave?
Uh well, I mean, if anything, like if anybody, if you know of anybody who has a problem with a dog man in the property or whatnot,
Hmm.
I'm always willing to help anybody out. Um, you know, it's something that I've always done from the beginning. Being an eyewitness, is to help out other people with their situations.
Right.
And I always tell people, if you hear anybody who has a problem, who has a situation, to reach out because there is help, regardless of what social media says, regardless of what social media might say. There is actual help,
Hmm.
but you got to reach out.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good deal, man. So that
All
way
right.
people know a little bit more about you and how you can help them out. Once when they have that dogman problem or dogman encounters themselves that they might have, had some PSTD. Uh, you know, you can
Because
help
a lot
them
of
out
times,
by understanding a little bit better.
right.
Hmm.
Because the
Hmm.
more the more you know about something, the less fearful you are of it.
Right.
So even if you don't have a problem right now, if you had a problem and you just want to talk,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always willing to talk, because again, the more you know about something,
Mm-hmm.
the less fearful you are of it.
Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. The more you know something, the less fear you have of it. Yes, that is true.
So
Um,
always reach out. I'm always available.
okay, okay. Thank you, Rich.
All right.
I'm sorry, Ricky. Richard was saying something about telling you about the video on Dogman, the mini horror movie that he's got. I don't know which one he's talking about. If it's the one on Facebook or if it's the one on his YouTube channel, because he has one on his YouTube channel where he designs houses and stuff. Kind of like architectural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he made one. It's called Dogman Proof. House, and it's pretty cool, man. If you watch that little video, it gives you the point of view of the dog man coming through the woods and all the way up to the house, and then he jumps inside the house, and that's like the point of view of the person, and it kind of like walks around the house, and then it looks out the window, and the dog man is right there by the tree and shit. It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, yeah. He said YouTube. Yeah. What is it's easy designs, but how do you spell it, Rich? Can you spell it real quick so I could tell Ricky about it? Because it's in his YouTube channel. Okay, it's called Easy Designs. I don't know if you
Easy.
see it on there, Rick. Do you see it on the chat?
I got it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's double
All right.
EZY Designs. There's a couple of capital letters and
Yeah. I
small
got it.
letters.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Check it out. Yeah, it's called Dogman Proof House or something like that. It's pretty good. Yeah, Dogman Proof Your Home is the name. Yeah, Dogman Proof Your Home. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool, Rich. Yeah, I just told him he's gonna check it out, man, and everybody else too, because I think Anthony was like, "What? What's that? Wow." Yeah, Anthony, you go check it out too, man. Easy Designs. It's pretty cool, man. It's a little short film he made. It's maybe about, I don't know, maybe what, 2-3 minutes or so. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
I'll check it
All
out.
right, guys. Well, I think that about sums it up for tonight, man. And we're gonna go ahead and call this a night. And thank you again, everybody that was here. Richard,
All right.
Anthony Metcalf, Richard Brown. They stuck to the end. Thank you, bros. And everybody else who joined. Tom, of course, Al Sanariga, everybody else who was here tonight. Thank you. Thank you all. And we'll see y'all on the next one. And I think that'll be it for tonight, man.
All right.
Okay.
Good night,
All
guys.
right. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you,
All
man.
right.
All
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
buddy. Good night. Good night, Rick. Good night, guys.
Right.
Anthony, Richard, good night, man. See y'all later, bro. Thank you. Night.